Hi, I'm Keith Allen, and I play Murphy on Z Nation, and I listen to One Up Gaming Podcast.
Hi, I'm Lucy James, and I listen to the One Up Gaming Podcast.
It's the One Up Gaming Podcast, hosted by David, Sean, and Zack.
And we're here, it's One Up Gaming, it's episode 170. I don't know about you, but that sounds very strange to actually have 170. And it's me, David, and we've got Zack.
I have no idea what you just said. You sort of became really philosophical there. 170, what a number. It must mean something. But
It's
yeah,
the meaning of life.
I'm here. It's the 170 is the meaning of life.
Yeah.
Not that number from that film, which I can't remember what it is. Is it
I can't
64?
remember. Was it 30
Meaning of
somewhere?
life.
Was it 30?
Everything. Is it 30? I can't believe we can't remember.
If you go back through our podcasts, whatever number it was, I made a joke in the podcast about it, and I put a stupid little pun as a title of the podcast.
Oh, really?
So I technically did know what it was, but I just can't remember. Was it 30? I don't know why, I just
It
think
can't be 30,
34.
I think it's 60 something. I think is it 60? I don't think it's 64 actually. Although it might be. I can't remember. This is really bad, isn't it? We're insulting everyone.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, yeah.
So, meaning of life. What was it? Was it the meaning of something? I don't know.
The meaning of life, everything and the universe and everything within it. 42. Oh, was it 42?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's 42, yeah.
I said 32, I was close.
Yeah, you was closer than I was, yeah, to be fair. Oh, well,
Anyway.
well, yeah. It's not 42. It's
No.
170.
Yeah. So I guess we'll use this as a bit of a board to say that we are in the extremely early planning stages of a rather big event that we're hosting. And because I'm based up in Glasgow and most of the team are either Midlands or down in London, we've decided we'll either host an event in Glasgow and get everyone shipped up, or in London and I'll ship down there. So we're in talks with some charities. Now, I myself suffer from diabetes, and I thought it'd be a good idea because I don't really hear that much about, gaming things and diabetes, but when you think about it, it goes hand in hand because you sit there for hours and hours and don't move and just eat junk food. And that's one of the big things of getting diabetes. So I thought I'd email them. They seem quite happy to come on board. They're in the process of scouting some venues for us that then they'll pass on to me. Then I will email saying, "Excuse me, can we please use your venue? We don't have no money." And then we'll work out things like that. But what we're hoping to do is get at least 2 or 3 celebrity sort of ish people to come along, either within the gaming industry or just celebrities who are diabetic, to come on and do some talks and things. But what we're thinking of doing is having a meal, a pudding, some music, an auction, a raffle, a little gaming tournament because I think we're planning on doing this for our 200th podcast, which will be roughly around April time. So hopefully Sociable Soccer will be out by then. So I would like to host a Sociable Soccer tournament. Mm-hmm. And we will also do a live panel, which that will be where we record our 200th podcast. I've had a few people say yes, they are very interested. Should I say names or should I just leave it blank for now?
Just leave it blank. I would leave it blank.
Right, so we've had a very bearded guy say he's very interested, and some guy who we did talk to probably a good 2 years ago on the podcast, who said he's very interested, like to know more information. So that is our plans for April next year. So anyone interested in either helping us or sponsoring us or just donating to us to help us get this up and running, we would love to do this as an annual event. Please contact me personally at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk, and yeah, let's chat and try and get this done. So
Yes.
after that, after Zack's long hiatus, see, I can say big words too.
All 6 letters of it.
Yeah. What was the word that you were on about before that
I
you
was saying
hated?
that hilarity ensues.
Yes.
Because it's just like ensues is one of the words where it's just one of those words that sounds really smart, so everyone uses it when they're trying to sell something or try to be positive about something, and it just really annoys me. Does it all the time. And I was saying that I probably do it as well. I
You probably
definitely
do. Because I would say you're one of these people who... Was that you or was that me?
Was what?
I just heard a beep. Oh, was it
It
a
might
cat
have been me.
maybe?
I did just move. And
I don't know.
My microphone has a tendency to just kind of make really weird noises.
Anyway, forget that. So, you've been away for a good couple of months, I would guess.
Oh yeah, I'd say maybe even longer, to be honest.
Anything
remember the
exciting
last time.
happen in that time, or just work and...
What have I done? I went on holiday. I went on holiday twice. It's quite
Anywhere
nice.
nice?
I went to Cornwall with my family, which was quite nice. And then I went to Magaluf with my mates.
Magaluf.
We went to Magaluf.
Isn't that
It
where all
was-
the old people go now?
Where all the old people go?
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't
'Cause
seem
it used
pretty.
to be a really big thing when I was 10 or whatever, so that's going back 30 years nearly. And I think it was people that were 20, 25 back then, they're still sort of going now, so they'll be on the 50s.
I don't know.
sort of
It
thing.
seemed fair. Actually, no. It was quite a wide range of
I guess it's
people there.
like a lot of those sort of places, yeah, you'll just
Yeah,
get
it just
a
generally
mix
just gets a new crowd every year, and it's just a place where you just get drunk all the time.
Sounds good.
It was alright. It was alright. Yeah. I went to Leeds Festival last week. Was it last week? Last weekend? Yeah, because it was.
I don't know.
No,
Leeds.
it was the weekend before. Sorry, I went to Leeds Fest, which was nice. That was
Is
cool.
that the bank holiday weekend that's not
Yeah, that's the
official in
bank holiday.
Scotland?
Yeah.
Bastards. Right.
And that was cool. I saw lots of bands.
No, I don't think I would enjoy a festival. I like going to a gig where you just go in, sit down and watch someone for a couple of hours and go home.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't go to... I think that's the second festival I've ever done. The last time I did a festival was Reading Festival in 2012. So I did a 4-year gap before I went back to one because they're a little bit too hardcore for me. It's just you spend 5 days in a tent covered in mud with toilets which are just they're the grimmest thing on the planet. They're so bad. Overpriced food. But then it's really cool to just kind of sit at a stage with a beer. You're just sitting there and just
You
watching
should
the
have
bands
just
come on and go off
taken
again.
some jam sandwiches.
I could have done, but you'd have to take a lot because you're there for a number of days. And then you're also taking all of your stuff. You're taking your tent.
Well, you just have to take a loaf of bread and some jam and a knife, and that's all you need.
I guess so, yeah, you could just do that, yeah.
You don't have to
not bad idea to
be
do that.
prepared, do they?
It's a decent idea. Most people just focus on bringing the alcohol.
You'd think that they'd stop you bringing alcohol in, because I know they charge a lot of money for the alcohol there, so you'd think they'd want to sell as much as...
I think it depends on the festival. They don't let you take alcohol into where the actual acts are, but in the campsite you're allowed to take as much alcohol as you can in, pretty much. And then they charge you like £5 a pint inside the venue, which is horrific.
To be fair, though, that's not that bad.
It's not that bad, but...
Because I think I went to see Coldplay at Hampden Park.
At, like... Yeah, at those places, it's even worse.
And I think my girlfriend wanted a pear cider. I think that was £8.
Oh, yeah. Every time you like a standard beer is like £5, and then if you want anything that isn't beer, it steadily goes up in price, and like so, you get cider, which is even more expensive than beer. But if you want pear cider, which is like seen as slightly above regular cider, they can charge another £2 for it or something like that. It's ridiculous, and it just gets steadily more ridiculous.
Because I had a tenner on me, and I thought, I'll go get, what would be like a £5 each, I'll be able to get a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is technically a gaming podcast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we should probably talk about some games.
Have you been playing anything last week or two?
The only thing I've been playing that's probably worth mentioning is I've been playing the Battlefield 1 beta. As a lot of people have you been playing it at all? No. Do you like Battlefield?
I enjoyed Battlefield 2 on the original Xbox.
Oh, Battlefield 2 was great, yeah. That was amazing.
And that's about as far as I've got with it.
Nah, fair enough. Well, Battlefield 1 is just... it's like, I can't believe they've actually called it Battlefield 1. It actually just... It's just insulting to the art of naming games.
Yeah.
But, it's really good. I really liked it. I didn't expect to like it because I think Battlefield 3 was just like, it was the best ever. It was so good. Actually, no, even before that, Battlefield Bad Company 2 was my favourite one. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And then, sort of, with Battlefield 3 and 4, especially with 4, it became a little bit too complicated for me. Like, when you was choosing your weapons and stuff, the thing that annoys me about Battlefield is you can't change what your guy is, or what guns you're using outside of being in a game. You have to be in a game to change the weapon or change the attachments or something, which just is, why can't I just leave a game and then decide, right, this is what I'm going to use, and then set it up beforehand? I don't know, but it's like a minor inconvenience. But there was like, they added loads of perks and stuff, and the weapon attachments. You could have like 3 attachments to a gun, and there was like, you could have a gadget 2, which grenade you wanted, and they've kind of removed a lot of that, and it's a lot more streamlined. And you can just you just pick a gun and you go, and it feels a lot more fast-paced generally. And it was really, really good. And the fact that they've gone back to World War One, even though it isn't historically accurate, because I've seen a lot of people complaining about like the tanks and the weapons available, saying that. I remember seeing some article about someone saying that they're refusing to buy Battlefield because it isn't historically accurate, which I don't know, it seems a little bit over the top. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, because it's gone back to World War One, it kind of feels really fresh because we're not focused on modern day shooters or near future stuff and fighting in space and stuff. It feels quite new. And I got well into it. I got up to like rank like 35 or something. My favourite thing about it, there's horses in it, and you can ride around the battlefield on horses. And when you jump on a horse, you get equipped with a rifle and a sword. So I was basically just riding around on the back of this horse, like pretending I was like Indiana Jones, but going around just swiping my sword around. and they're quite overpowered, and the horses they're like bullet sponges. You need to shoot them like 20 times before they get brought down. But generally it just feels faster paced than a Battlefield game. Is just action going on everywhere. I think they've taken a few cues from Battlefront, DICE have, by just making the map a little bit smaller, a little bit more focused on just getting into the action, without making it so small that it's competing with Call of Duty or anything. It still feels like its own Battlefield brand, and it's just fantastic. Really enjoyed it. So I wasn't expecting to like it. So when I jumped into it, I was like, oh, this is actually really cool. So I might actually end up getting that. They've added like planes and stuff, and there's loads of different types of tank and stuff. The destruction physics looks really cool as well. So when the bombers drop bombs or tanks shoot their shells, like the ground itself, like it creates a hole in the ground, and then the battlefield like becomes like a wonky plane, and it just looks really cool. And like when you shoot a shell at the building just like erupts in rubble just flies everywhere, and there's just like a really natural looking hole in the side of the building rather than some like predetermined what's the word I'm looking for, animation or something. So yeah, I was really, really impressed with the Battlefield beta. There was rumours they were going to add another map. I know that on the forums, I think they were taking requests for a new map, but I don't think enough people did it, so we didn't get one. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it to anyone who is doubting it a little bit.
How easy are the horses to control?
They're a little bit... It's kind of like... Actually, do you remember what it was like controlling a horse in Red Dead Redemption?
Yes, I did not enjoy
Did you ever
that.
play? Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's a little bit like trying to turn left and right it takes a while, and turning round is a little bit difficult. You can kind of get stuck if you end up going into a corner. You can get stuck a little bit. But generally they're okay because they can jump over like walls and stuff. Not like 6 foot high walls or anything, but walls or if there's barbed wire or something, they just jump over it. So that's quite nice. They're much easier to control. Obviously, when it's just flat land everywhere. So in the map that they put in the beta, it's kind of like there's a little a little village rather, and then either side of the village there's a few buildings where each of the flags that you're supposed to capture are, and then sort of in front of the village there's a massive plain of sand, and going through the village is a bit of an art on a horse because you have to guide through the streets and stuff. But when you do it and you like slash a few guys on your way, you feel so cool. Like you feel like you're an action hero. It's amazing. So whenever there was a horse free, I was just like having that, just riding around, just waving my sword about. But yeah, it's really good, really, really good. And there's also like I don't think they showed nearly as much as what's actually in the full game. But they limited the amount of guns you could use. I think in the full game there's like is it blimps? A blimp? I think they're in the game.
I know what you mean. I don't think...
Yeah, the big balloons.
I know what you mean. I don't think they're called blimps. They were called something else.
Yeah, but anyway, I think they're in the game. Zeppelins. Sorry, Zeppelins.
That's the one.
Yeah. But I don't know if they'll be saving that for DLC or anything. Because like in I think the game mode that they'll be in is like in You see, in Battlefront, the Walker Assault mode, I have a feeling they might do something similar with that, with, like having a blimp go across, or a Zeppelin go across the map, and one team has to protect it, one team has to destroy it.
Yeah,
they might do something like that. And I know on Battlefield 4 they limited a similar game mode to DLC. I think it was called Naval Strike or something. There was 2 like aircraft carriers, and you had to destroy the opposing team's aircraft carrier. And that was in like a Naval Strike DLC or something. So, but you never know with DICE. They can be quite DLC heavy, can't they? It's just a little bit a pain in the ass.
Yeah. I think,
the only other thing I played is I played Star Trek Online.
I quite enjoyed that.
Star Trek Online to PlayStation 4.
I think I've seen it, but I had a quick go on the PC one.
Yeah, I saw it a couple of days ago, and I was like, I have to. So I played it for about 3 hours or something.
It's not bad.
It's okay. It kind of reminds me of Mass Effect. It's really Mass Effect-y.
For an MMO, I think it's actually not bad.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, you don't have to focus on anyone else. You can just do your own thing, can't you? It's just there's like an actual. It's almost like a campaign without being.
I made myself as a little Ferengi.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, little big ears.
I just made myself like a dude. I was just like a regular human man.
I wonder if I can.
I was like
port my character across.
I think you
can. From
can.
PC one to the PS4.
I think you can, yeah, because I saw people in the chat saying that they did.
Yeah. I don't have the time.
No, I don't know. I don't think I'll be playing it again, to be honest. I just wanted to try it out. But it just made me want to play Mass Effect again. For the billionth time. I'm just waiting for the HD remaster. Which I don't think they're going to do. I think, what's his name? Peter Moore, the head of EA, kind of destroyed that rumour. Yeah,
he said if you're doing like HD remakes on games that are less than like 5 years old, then you've lost ideas.
Yeah. But I want it. Give me it now. I'd pay all the money to play the Mass Effect trilogy again on my PlayStation 4.
How much is all the money?
How much is all the money?
Yeah.
I'd pay anything up to... If they gave me all 3 games in the same package, I'd pay anything up to about 50 quid, probably.
I think they would
50, 60
charge
quid.
60.
60 quid is too much, actually. It depends. I mean, it depends how much of a remaster they do, obviously. Because Mass Effect 1 is... I mean, it's... As much as I love it, it's going to be pretty much borderline unplayable nowadays, because the combat's awful. It's just absolutely terrible. But if they converted the... It would take time and money. But if they took the combat from the later games and put it into Mass Effect 1, I'd be willing to pay 60 quid for them again. So they're the best games. They just are.
Well, I mean, I wonder
no arguments.
If they might do the same sort of thing as what they did with Mass Effect 2 on the PlayStation 3. Basically, because that came out Came
out afterwards, didn't it?
It's like nearly a year later, I think it was.
Yeah.
But because of that, they actually used the Mass Effect 3 engine. I'm sure that's what they did. They rebuilt it up.
Maybe. That'd be cool if they did that. That'd be really cool.
Because,
if they did do that, I would happily pay 60 quid for the remaster if they did that for all the games.
Yeah, so
with all the DLC.
They could actually do like the remaster, but build it all in the Andromeda engine.
Yeah, I'd do that. I'd have it. But then, the thing is, if they haven't confirmed it now, I don't think they'll do it before Andromeda comes out. They're too focused
it might be
on
one of those things
Andromeda
where
now.
it's like a month or two before, it's like pre-order Andromeda and get these games now.
Oh, no. Well, yeah. That wouldn't bother me because I'm definitely buying Andromeda regardless.
Yeah.
So that would suck for anyone who doesn't want to play Andromeda. That's pretty much everything that I've been playing.
They'd release them as separate downloadable games later, I'd say, but...
Yeah. Hopefully they'll do the same thing for COD 4.
Yeah, they will. They'll probably after Christmas, won't it? They'll wait until the Christmas rush and then...
Yeah.
But... I don't know. From what I've seen of the Call of Duty, it looks quite good.
It does look really good. I saw the gameplay trailer and I just remembered being, like, however old I was, 16
I'm
when it
not
came
on
out.
about the remake. I couldn't give a crap about the remake. I'm on
Oh,
about
not the
new
remake,
game.
the Infinite Warfare.
Yeah, I think that looks quite cool. I don't like realistic military sort of sim sort of looking games. I just don't like that sort of style.
Oh, okay, fair enough, yeah.
You know, so
I just
it's
liked COD 4. It was just so well balanced. It was like perfect. Everything after it just felt really weird, and it feels all the new Call of Duty games feel like they're geared so much towards esports. I kind of feel like
well, it's where all
just
the
don't
money
like
is
it.
now, isn't it?
It's just everything's an esports game. I just don't like it.
Don't like it.
I don't like it.
So, is that basically all you've been playing?
That is pretty much it. Anything else is not really worth talking about.
Anything about No Man's Sky?
Oh, I did play No Man's Sky. Yeah, I bought that.
So did I.
Are we going to go into this? Should we talk about No Man's Sky?
I've played it, so we can both talk about it, and then we'll cut to what I've been playing. So what was your experience like with No Man's Sky?
The first 2 hours were probably like the best 2 hours of my life. It was so good. And then I realised that those 2 hours were going to be repeated for the next 40. And I immediately kind of had a massive boredom crash. It's just insanely repetitive. And it kind of just loses its magic after a while. Whilst it's really, really cool that I'm visiting these planets and I will be the first person to witness this planet in its entirety, that is awesome, but there's just not a lot to do. And I just feel, I'm sitting on this planet, I'm like, I want to do something, but all I can do is feed animals, shoot the animals, annoy the sentinels, and that's about it. And it's just a little bit, yeah. I just wanted a little bit more interactivity on the planets.
I mean, I don't know if it does do this as you get in towards the future of the game sort of thing, because I've played it twice, about 2-3 hours each time, and I've done 2 warp jumps. That's about as far as I got. But the thing that got me is, no matter where you go, it's just a different colour sort of planet, and it all just plays the same.
That as well, yeah.
You know, I wanted a variety of of the gravity sort of thing. So some planets you bounce, and some planets you're a lot heavier and don't jump.
Yeah,
but it just doesn't do anything.
I said to I think I was talking to my brother, and I said every planet is randomly generated, but because they're all randomly generated, they all look really similar because they all look randomly generated. If that makes sense, there's nothing specifically unique about each one. They all are they're all a different colour. They all have uneven ground. Sometimes you might find a cave, but it's just everything looks oddly really similar. Even the animals, none of the animals look weirdly alien. They all look like they could, not happily, but they look like you could just find them on Earth a little bit.
Well, I think
apart from there was one I found some weird blob with a pineapple growing out of his head, jumping around. That was probably, I was like, looking at that going, that looks cool, that looks like an alien. But there's nothing properly alien about the animals a lot of the time, which upsets me.
Yeah, I think they'll have just been given the algorithm of it must have two eyes, it must have... Oh, do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it must walk upright,
like
stand, this, that, the other, or give the basics of animals, and then because it only spits out a combination of those sort of things, they will all be very similar to what's already available.
Yeah, that's the thing, yeah. And to a degree, I mean, it's... What they've done, really, is quite cool. But there's so many things that I keep looking at going, that isn't quite right, that isn't quite right. I think if Sony didn't market it, it might have been better received because it was hyped so much. There was so much hype surrounding it. That if it just appeared on Steam one day, people might have quite taken it to it a bit better because they haven't been sitting there thinking, oh, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do that in this game, and then it turned out it didn't. Also, I think they're in a lot of the early interviews with Sean Murray, the guy, the CEO. I think he's the CEO, or the guy that makes the game.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of early interviews he had a vision of what the game was, and I think throughout development, like, he's had to make cutbacks to certain ideas and stuff. And obviously that happens generally, like throughout development of every game, they've had to cut ideas out. But because people have been latching on to every single word he said, that he's kind of dug himself a little bit of a hole when every time he's had to kind of compromise on a gameplay feature.
I mean, do you think that was him and the game's developer, or do you think it was Sony that were quick to say what the game would be and were very naive to not say what it wouldn't do?
I think it's a combination of everything. Like, yeah, Sony saw that game. They were like, "Oh, this is it. We can sell this idea to people," and they threw that idea at people. I think Sean Murray has had to make compromises in places.
I can understand Sean Murray and the team at Hello Games. As soon as Sony says, "We'll give you so many £1 million to do this and do this,"
oh yeah, exactly, yeah,
they're just like, okay.
Yeah, I think as well, like, if Sony threw all that money at them and then threw an entire company behind them as well, because there was only like 10, 15 people making it. So if they had like another studio working on it of another 100 people, they might have achieved a lot of the added a lot more features to make the game a bit more rounded. But I think because there's so few of them, they might have been like, they had the marketing campaign of a AAA huge title, but really they're only an indie game. It's kind of like a bit of a mismatch there. Yeah. I think it's a combination of every single problem kind of just amalgamating into a hype culture that kind of just killed it a little bit.
So, I mean, before we sort of like move
it's interesting.
on,
yeah.
I just want to say, for me, the biggest problem was the fact that Sony pushed this, realised what they had, and then the next thing you knew, the $30 price point had gone. The digital download, sort of like only version, was gone, and then it was like a £55 game. And to me, if this had came out for like 30 quid on PSN as a download, it'd be quite good.
Yeah, there's also that. They was kind of like... I think they have every right to charge what they want.
Yes, they have the right.
But
I just don't think there's enough game. Well, no, it's not the fact there's enough.
It is lacking in terms of gameplay sometimes. Actually, a lot of the time.
But I will say one thing. I honestly don't like the survival sort of games. But because this game was so basic in its survivalness, I really enjoyed that aspect, because you only had to keep an eye on like 2 things.
Yeah. It was a little bit... It's kind of really frustrating, like, every time you have to take off. Initially, I think on your first ship, it used like 25% of your taking off fuel, or whatever. It was a little bit kind of... It was so basic at times that it kind of just annoyed me. I just wish it wasn't there. But then at the same time, it kind of made sense. Like, in terms of, like, travelling through space, you know, you kind of need fuel, you need oxygen, stuff like that.
I don't know what you think.
I guess that depends on your personal...
Do you know the Sentinels?
Preference on... Yeah.
I wish you could turn them off.
Oh, they're so annoying, aren't they?
So I got to a point...
I can't believe it's a survival game. You need to go and mine resources, but if you mine too much resources, they get the police on you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is going on? Yeah, I mean, we could sit here and talk about... We could do an entire podcast probably about No Man's Sky, about its problems. I think everyone has their own unique problem with it that could be sort of... we formed this massive review of on the internet. Everyone could just put their own little idea in it. But I think a lot of the, like I said, with the, you have to mine resources to get continues with the game, but then they put the police on you every time you mine too many resources. That kind of contradicts itself in a really annoying way. Like, I go down to a planet, I need some fuel, I'll mine like a couple of crystals, and then suddenly these things are trying to kill me. It kind of feels like the game's a little bit confused in that aspect. And like, it's a game about exploring, but at the same time, you also kind of need all this money to explore. But then, the only reason you need to get money is so you can keep exploring. I don't know, it feels like the initial vision, when it was marketed by Sony, may have been sort of transformed a little bit just because it was being marketed by Sony. Like, Sony maybe said, you should probably do this because, you know, we want to make it as broad as possible to appeal to so many people.
I think the initial teaser,
that's just,
it was like an explore sort of game.
They never sold it as a survival game.
And then later on,
that was never a thing.
Oh, we need guns in this. People need to shoot things.
Yeah, like the shooting feels like it's just there. Like, does it really need to be there? Does the combat really need to be there? I don't know.
No. But anyway, as I was saying, I got to a point in it where I was mining stuff, and then all of a sudden the drones or the security things came after me. And my gun wasn't powerful enough to kill all of them that were like swarming around. So I ran to the ship, jumped in it. The drones were still shooting the ship, so I couldn't get out and do anything. But I didn't have enough thrust fuel to take off.
Oh, yeah.
And so, well, I can't go out because they'll kill me. I can't sit in here because it's just... So, yeah, that's
and there's
annoying.
like... and some of the planets, like, all you have to do is be there, and the Sentinels attack you.
I've had that
like,
before,
you don't even have to do anything. And it's just like, it's just a little bit... Everything just feels a bit too annoying sometimes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to sum it up, I did quite enjoy what I've done in it. And, like, naming planets and stuff, naming animals can be quite amusing. And like, when you think of that idea of landing on a planet, like, no one has ever... I remember a video game journalist man, Matt Lees, made a video about the fact that when you land on a planet, it's literally rendering for the first time for you. Which is really... That's, like, when you think about that, that's actually really, really cool. But, yeah, it just feels a little bit...
Is that your phone
like some
or
of the mechanics kind of contradicts itself. Yeah.
So, anyway, that's enough for No Man's Sky. I think we talked about that enough.
Yeah.
So I played another old game just because it was on the PSN free games list. And I completed it in one sitting today, and that was Journey.
Oh, Journey.
Yeah.
I've never played that. Would you recommend? That isn't a good start.
No, it literally only took about 2 hours, if that. And my thumb is so sore. Because literally, all you do is hold up on the thumbstick. And it just all walks wherever it wants to walk itself. It just does everything. The camera automatically pans round to where you're going, so you just walk into, wherever it wants you to go. So I was just holding up for 2 hours while the game played itself. Now, don't get me wrong, it looked stunning and the music's amazing. But I generally play games to play games. Now, because there's no spoken word whatsoever, that's another thing that annoyed me. Do you know when you're playing it, other people come into your game and they prat around and do little lights and that, and that just annoyed me. I wanted to turn that off. I just wanted to walk around on my own. I didn't want people following me all the time.
Yeah, I get that.
But
I didn't know that.
It's annoying. But yeah, so it's a good game. It's not like, I don't know how the hell it won Game of the Year. Must have been a bad year.
Do you like those kinds of games? Like the walking simulator kind of, like experience kind of stuff? Do you like that kind of stuff?
I don't think I've ever really played any of that sort of... The only thing I can say that's similar is like the Walking Dead Telltale games where you don't really do a lot, you just sit and watch things. But to me, there's more of a story.
There's a story there. There's an explicit story there, isn't there? Whereas in Journey, it's a little bit more interpretive, I guess.
Yeah, but
I've not played that. I'm like the only like the games like have you played like Gone Home?
No. Although I have downloaded that, so I might try that.
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture?
No.
Have you played that one? Oh. They're the two immediate games that come to my mind that I've played. And again, they're just like, they're games you kind of just plod through. You don't really do much, you kind of just walk around and you kind of just learn about... There's a story that's already happened and you're finding out about that story, in a way. Which I quite like. It's quite nice to just kind of sit back and just sort of enjoy what's in front of you without really without really being challenged in any way.
Yeah.
But I don't think, I wouldn't play those games all the time. Obviously, you'd want a variety. You'd never want to just play a certain type of game constantly. But it's quite a nice change of pace.
Unless it's Chat Manager.
Yeah. Is Journey... Am I right in saying that Journey's the free game of the month?
Yes. That's why I got it.
Yes, in that case, I might play it. Yeah,
I wouldn't have paid 15 quid for it.
No, I did think that. Like, when it came out and it was 15 quid, I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait. Because it was like, that was just prime PlayStation Plus material.
But I think because of all the industry press hype it got, I think that's why it's being kept off the free stuff for a good year and a half.
Yeah, so I might play that sort of like this weekend. I might sort of have a quick blast through, just finish it in one sitting, see how it is.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good game. Well, it's okay. But
if you was to give it a score right now, what would it be?
If I was to give it a score, as I was playing it, there was moments that proper annoyed me. I'd say it's a 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5?
Yeah.
Seems fair.
Yeah, it had bits in that were good, but the movement and that I just didn't like. I didn't like the fact that you couldn't stop people coming into your world, and the fact that wherever the person is, if they're off screen, the there's like a light indicator to point the direction of where they are. So as you're walking through a totally immersive moment, there's like a bright light to the side of you telling you there's some stupid person prattling around to the side. And it's just like, no, just get rid of the twats. But yeah, so Journey, for free, it's a good game.
Yeah, that seems fair.
So the newest game that I've played is God Eater 2 Rage Burst. And it's just a very average Monster Hunter clone. But it's based on like a Japanese anime, I think.
Right, okay.
Or if it's not a Japanese anime, oh my god, they must have paid some Japanese studio to make the trailers and the intro movies and bits and bobs, because it's so really bad Japanese anime. And one of the main people in there is a girl, and she's got like a vest top on that's cut, and you can see like the bottom of her boobs as she's talking. It's just like, what is this for, like a 5-year-old?
It reminds me of that game I had to review. Was it Omega Quintet? I think it was. And it was just like you play a dude who's looking after 4 girls who fight demons, and you're looking after them, and then you can dress them up in whatever you want, including their underwear. You can like send them out to fight demons in their underwear. And it's just like, why am I playing this?
It's amazing what you can do.
I know, it's just ridiculous.
So I had a quick go at King of Fighters 14, although I've got on here 15, but I think it's 14. And there's that many of them now, I can't remember. But
so many.
It's in full 3D, but it's played like the Street Fighter 4 sort of, so it plays like on the 2D plane, but occasionally when you do like a super move, the camera swings round to show off the graphical effect and that. And from the limited time that I've played it, it seems a competent, good game. There's little bits that niggle. I think it's because I'm so used to Street Fighter, I'm so used to that style of play, and although it's technically like a side-on fighting game, some of the controls and buttons are slightly different, and do you know when you've had like 20 odd years of Street Fighter, then you go to something slightly different, and the moves and the timing's just slightly different, and because of that, my brain just shuts down and cries. But if you're a King of Fighters person, then this is a really good game. I think they've done the series proud, and I'm actually looking forward to see what they can do next, as SNK have said they're going to come back with more games in the future.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see some of the other games.
One of my friends, going back to your comment about playing different fighters, one of my friends, he loves fighting games. Like he owns like loads of them. Whenever I go to his house, we play. He has a PlayStation 3, and we just go through all the fighting games. But because all he does is play fighting games, he's really used to each one, and he pretty much memorized all of the mechanics of each one. But when I change from we'll go from like Mortal Kombat to like Dragon Ball Z to Soul Calibur to Tekken, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't figure out. Every single time we change game, I have to figure out what's going on. Like, what type of fighting game is this? Okay, like, what's the speed like? What's the reaction times like? And it's just, it fries my brain so much. Whereas he just goes through them and just destroys me every single time. I don't know why I'm friends with him, really. I'm joking. If you're listening to this, you know who you are.
So I don't know if you've played this game or not, but Paragon?
That's the MOBA, the online MOBA, isn't it?
Yes.
Online MOBA. They're all online.
By Epic, I think.
The free one on PlayStation 4, right?
Yes.
Yes, I've played it, yeah.
I played it today for the first time.
Yeah.
And about 20 minutes later, I've deleted it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
It was
really like
horrible.
I stuck with it for about. I probably played it for in total about 10 hours probably, and I just couldn't get into it. I think what's the only type of MOBA that isn't your typical top-down MOBA that I've liked so far is I quite liked. What was the Gearbox one that came out just before Overwatch and sort of kind of flopped?
I know what you mean, but I hated that. Yeah, I think so.
Battleborn.
That felt
I quite
horrible.
liked that.
I didn't like the movement of the gunplay.
It felt a little bit odd. Yeah, because it was really fast paced, but at the same time, it took a while to kill people. There was like this really weird kind of disconnect to it, but I quite enjoyed it from what I played. And would you count Overwatch as a MOBA? It's not really, is it?
I've not played that.
It fair enough. It's more of a team-based shooter, to be honest. So I'll ignore that. But yeah, I didn't enjoy Paragon very much.
I mean, there was one on the Xbox One that I played where you had to win zones, and then when you got to the end, you could send like a big dragon out to fight. But I can't remember what the hell that was called. But I quite enjoyed that. The movement and the gunplay was quite good.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Paragon.
In Paragon, everything felt really. It's a really slow paced.
Yeah.
Really slow paced. Like the games would last for like an hour at a time. But yeah, I just couldn't get into it. And like, I found as soon as you lost a tower in one of your lanes, game over. You were going to lose. The first person to lose a tower, unless the other team was really good at what they were doing, and they were really working together, you were dead. That's it. There's no point in continuing to play. And then, like, when people leave, like, you're left with an AI, which can't be replaced, I don't think, by a human character. And the AI isn't very good. I'm interested to see the new... Is it Cliff Bleszinski's one?
Yes.
Lawbreakers.
Yeah, that seems weird. With anti-grav zones where you shoot behind you to go propel yourself forward.
Yeah. On one hand, I'm worried about it because I'm not entirely convinced MOBAs should really be first-person or third-person shooters. But at the same time, it's been getting quite a lot of praise from people who have been playing it. So I think there's hope. Like I kind of liked Battleborn. I probably wouldn't buy it, but I did quite like it. So we'll see.
Yes,
how that plays out.
I will just sort of say the last couple of games: Riptide GP Renegade.
Is that one game?
That is one game.
It just sounds like they've just like thrown a dartboard of ideas.
Because
what should we call it?
The original game
Riptide
on iOS was Riptide GP. Then there was Riptide GP 2, which came to Xbox One and PS4. And this is the first one built from the ground up to be like PS4, Xbox One game. And they use the same engine as... I mean, these are the guys who did the Hydro Thunder Hurricane for the Xbox 360.
Okay.
And it still plays very similar to that. Very hard. I think they've built it so... Do you know, it's one of these games where you've got 4 points that you can fix on your craft. Speed, handling, boost, and acceleration. I think they've made the game so once you get to like level, like World 2 towards the end, you have to have the whole craft maxed out to stand a chance. Or you have to actually buy the second craft and do that up before you can go. So it's one of these games that you have to race the same tracks over and over and over to build up your money to buy better. Which is quite good in a way, but in other ways it's like, I'd rather just race right the way through once, you know, completing it and do the story and that, instead of going have to go back through. But the game looks amazing. The water effects are just really good. They've added a lot of more modes in from the other similar sort of games. So you got like slalom now. So you got to go through the different coloured buoys. Yeah, either right to the red or to the left to the blue sort of thing. And like go through. You still got your stunts and yeah, it's really good. And it's only about £7, I think. And it's a really good, fun little game. There was F1 2016, which I've been sent. I'll have to get a review written of that. And the game...
how's that? Have you played it?
The gameplay of the racing is top notch. It's one of the best racing games I've played in a long time. The other things, like when you are out of your vehicle talking to your agent or talking to the crew or whatever, it looks like you're on a PS2. The disconnect is so amazing. You know, it just looks really bad. But the main part of the game, the gameplay, the racing, is amazing. So I'd say it's worth the money if you're into F1.
I might have a look then. Yeah,
and
I really like F1.
The last thing, the good old Eagle box that we are selling on OUG Tech. I played Mario Golf on the Game Boy Advance for this week's sort of video. That's on our YouTube channel. So that was quite fun. So yeah, so while you're here, Zack, name a game on either NES, SNES, Mega Drive, PS1, Game Boy Advance. One game that you think I should play for 20 minutes.
Oh my god, this is almost before my time, most of these consoles. What is that game? I remember I played a game on the PlayStation 1. I used to play it for hours and hours and hours. It was a Disney racer.
Mickey's Magical Quest.
Let me see if I can find it. It might be that. That sounds like it. Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour. Is that it? Let me have a look at the gameplay. Oh my god, I think this is it.
So you're saying...
Yes, this is it. Oh, I remember the music as well. I think you should play this. So Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour.
So if I just search Disney's Magical World Tour, that should find it, shouldn't it?
Do Disney Magical Racing Tour. Or something.
I'll get that done. And that'll be this week's video then. I'll get that sorted and play through that.
I used to play this game, literally. I'd never stop playing it. It was the best game. Even the music is making me really nostalgic. Oh my god. I've got a big smile on my face right now. Yeah, I don't really remember. The only consoles out of those that I would have had would be the PlayStation 1 or the GameCube, and I never had the GameCube. I had a PlayStation 1. I never owned a SNES or NES.
You'd have had a Game Boy Advance.
Or Mega Drive. Oh, Game Boy Advance. I had a Game Boy Advance. What did I play on the Game Boy Advance? Oh my god, that's going back.
Pokemon.
I had a Yu-Gi-Oh game. I had Pokemon.
I thought I'd say Yu-Gi-Oh! Jesus Christ.
I can't think of any other games I would have had on the Advance.
Anyway, we'll play this Disney's
Spider-Man. I had a Spider-Man game. Spider-Man 2, I think it was. No, it would have been the original Spider-Man. Spider-Man. That was an awful game. That was really bad. Yeah, but that's it.
So yes, I've had another person just say great, sounds awesome. Just email us the deets, and that's someone from I tell you, I've completely blanked on the developer's name. Roll 7, is it? Are they the ones who did that skateboarding game and No More Hero or something?
I don't know. Like,
I think it's Roll 7.
Roll 7.
Yeah, Roll 7.
I don't know. I don't think I've heard of them.
They did the skateboard game, 2D side-scrolling game.
What? Can't remember what it's called. The recent one.
They've recently just
one?
did the second one.
Yeah, I reviewed it, didn't I?
Maybe. Ollie.
Ollie, yeah. Yeah. I reviewed Ollie Ollie too, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to call it Kickflip.
one of the guys from them, they've said they're interested in coming along to the event next year. That's cool. So that is all that we've been playing, so we're going to have a quick break, a little bit of an advert, and then we'll be back to talk about the PlayStation show that was on the 7th, or was it on the 9th? No, it's the 9th today, so it was the 7th.
7th.
Yeah, so back in a couple of moments.
Hey guys, Justin here. I wanted to take a minute to talk to you about this thing we're really getting into here at One Up Gaming. It's called the Eagle Box, and it's a tiny Android console that, with a high-quality wireless controller, connects to your TV via HDMI, and then it gives you instant access to all kinds of retro games. It comes pre-installed with Android TV and the movie apps and all the fun stuff like Kodi that you would expect from an Android box. But in addition to that, I mean, this is like me going off and saying, but wait, there's more! It can play PS1, MAME, Dreamcast, N64, Neo Geo, Atari, NES, SNES, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Sega Master System, Sega Mega Drive, or, Sega Genesis back in the real world, what do you want to call it? Commodore 64, Amiga, ZX Spectrum, I could go on for days with the amount of games that this thing can play. And if, by chance, you happen to run out of memory, it has an expandable memory slot too, so you can keep adding on to your game library if that's your thing. Unlike a lot of these other Android-based consoles out there, it supports up to 1080p. It includes a TV remote, and I can't speak highly enough about this thing. It does everything you'd want it to, and it's a media device too. So if you're into quality retro gaming, and I know Nintendo has this NES Classic console coming out in November, and it's going to be $60 US or whatever. But you can start now. I mean, you could play these games on your TV right now, rather than having to wait, and probably not even be able to get a unit, one of those NES Classic consoles due to sheer nostalgic demand. I mean, the pre-orders are going to be crazy. Why go through that when you can get an Eagle Box from One Up Gaming right now and start playing those classic games right now? And then, when you're done playing games, you could watch movies and do a host of other things, media-related, all in one device. It comes with a wireless controller. It comes with a TV remote. And you record live TV if you want. This is one of these things it does. It's a full media device. It can record virtually anything you want to do on Android, you can do on here, because it is a full Android device. And for those of you familiar with Kodi, it comes with that pre-installed. So, go to One Up Gaming, go to our website, okay? Check it out, and get yourself an Eagle Box. Don't bother going to eBay. Who knows what's going to be there. You never know what you're getting out of eBay. How many times have I been burned? I can't even count the times that I've been burned through eBay. But know that you're getting a quality device through One Up Gaming that's going to do all your retro games, and some fairly modern ones too, and all your media stuff too, right in your living room, right now. No need to wait. So, go to the One Up Gaming website, check it out, and I think you'll like it. Anyway, back to the show.
Up next on the One Up Gaming podcast is 10 minutes of nothing. Will it be the team talking about nothing, or a guest interview? Stick around and find out now. It's 10 minutes of nothing, yeah, 10 minutes of nothing.
And we're back. Thanks, Justin, for that advert there. And it's still me, David, with Zack.
Hello, everyone.
Is that it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, I was just saying hello to everyone.
Okay. So
Everyone
it's
being you.
still episode 170. And we're going to have a 10 minutes of nothing, which that's just the name of the show. The segment. It's not really going to last 10 minutes. It'll probably go on for a bit longer, but we're going to talk about Sony. And we're going to talk about their big news, which was the slimmer PlayStation 4. Nothing else they said matters.
And the Pro.
Nah, that's just rubbish.
Fair enough.
So, we'll kick off with the first thing, the slimmer PlayStation 4. That's actually what they're calling it, because that was in Sony emailed me as their press release. It's called the slimmer PlayStation 4. It's not the
Is it
PS4
really? I haven't looked at the press release. Let me have a look.
But I'm sure that it said slimmer and PlayStation or slimmer PS4 was all one word.
One word, can you imagine? Oh, that would be horrific.
New PS4 and that the future begins.
Today announced that a new slimmer and lighter PlayStation 4 computer entertainment system.
That's not the one I got. Because I had one that was just
keep calling it the new PlayStation 4. It's not like even mentioning that
it was just all text. There was no pictures. It was sent out before.
Their press releases look disgusting. I think they're just calling it the PlayStation 4. I think there doesn't seem to be any mention. They've mentioned the specs, and it has a product name next to it, and it just says PlayStation 4.
But anyway, so the slimmer PlayStation 4, I think it is just the PlayStation 4 just slimmed down and cheaper.
Pretty much.
So that's it there. So moving on, the PlayStation 4 Pro.
The Pro.
Now,
for all you MLG guys.
I loved the fact that Sony have known about this, and basically everyone's known about this for a good 8 months. And even when they've announced it, they were still not sure what the hell they were announcing.
There's a big confusion about what it actually does, isn't there? No one really knows. Well, no one really knows that. We do know what it does, but I think it's been miscommunicated a little bit, hasn't it?
Well, it's from what I can gather, it's got a bit better, graphics chip and processor or whatever, but they haven't really said what it is. Do you know what I mean? Whereas, at least with the Xbox One, they were like, it's 6 billion teraflops of data or whatever. Sony were like, it does it better than the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I think they tried to keep it. They kept it as simple as possible, didn't they? They were just like, this is better. This is why you should buy it. It's better. Look at it. It looks really odd, I thought, as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a picture of it up on my emails. I'll go back to the email to get a better look of it. PlayStation 4. Yeah.
I think it kind of... it just looks like a set of stairs.
If it had...
for like a pet or something.
2 coloured bits on the outside and the middle bit was black, it looked like a licorice allsort.
Buy our new licorice allsort.
Yeah.
It also plays video games. But, yeah, it just... I think it's a decent move by Sony. I think it's priced quite well. I don't think it's too expensive.
But the problem is...
depends if it gets supported by...
The problem is,
really.
The PlayStation 4, they haven't... I think what Xbox have done, they've thrown the towel in. Xbox One will be dead by next year, and the Xbox Scorpio will become the new Xbox One, or the new Xbox, just Xbox, whatever it'll be called.
Yeah.
Whereas with Sony, they're like, oh, we're selling hundreds of thousands a day, we don't need to do anything. We'll just...
they're kind of playing it safe, aren't they?
Add a little bit more to it, but not too much. And I think that's what they thought Microsoft were doing, and that's exactly what Microsoft have done with the Xbox One S. It's slightly better processing power, slightly better everything, smaller, better redesign, looks gorgeous. It has 4K playback, and it actually does 4K Blu-rays, whereas the PlayStation
whereas the
Pro
Pro
doesn't
does
do
it.
that. So to me, the PS4 Pro is just the Xbox One S, but Microsoft have managed to squeeze the Xbox One S into a tiny package, whereas the PlayStation 4 Pro, it looks a bit chunky.
Yeah, it does. It's huge. I thought the PlayStation 4 was quite big, but the Pro looks massive. So, yeah. I guess the only thing I can think that they're doing is trying to beat... Even then, so, like, if you was to look at the Pro and the Xbox One S, you'd probably favour the One S immediately, wouldn't you?
I know I would.
Especially
looks-wise.
As a PlayStation, as a person who owns the PlayStation 4 now, looking at the Pro and the Xbox One S, if I wanted to upgrade immediately, I'd probably look at the Xbox One, because the PlayStation 4 is going to continue getting supported, regardless.
Yeah.
Then the Xbox One Slim, whatever, One S, I would immediately get access to all of the Xbox exclusives. It's only $249, I think it is. It's only 250 quid, I think. It's fairly cheap.
Yeah.
And it does 4K. Immediately, I've been looking at the Xbox One S, going, I could really use one of them. I like the look of one of those. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the Scorpio affects things.
The only other problem is I think Microsoft are hoping that they can launch the Scorpio like a good 12 months to 18 months sooner than the PlayStation 5. And they'll have the same sort of thing as the 360 to the PS3, where it was released a good year before.
Yeah.
But the problem I see this time is back then the 360 was a powerful upgrade compared to the PS2 and the Xbox. And a lot of people, when they saw those early games, were, oh my god, this looks amazing. I have to get this.
Yeah.
But to me, the difference between the Scorpio stuff and the PS4 stuff, I don't think will be as dramatic.
No, it won't. I think, every time we get an upgrade from now on, it's going to be pretty minor now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's going to be things like lighting and particle effects that is going to be boosted rather than
that's the only
sheer
thing
texture quality.
I've noticed on the PS4 is all the bloody particle effects.
Yeah. Exactly.
Shoot this thing and watch all these lights explode.
Which, considering now, consoles are huge, so, the average person's going to buy a console, probably. And those little upgrades probably won't mean that much to them anymore, will they? They'll the average person might want to buy Call of Duty, FIFA, a few games in between. And then... So it'll be interesting, I don't know. I think it's going to be a very strange couple of years to see... Do you think the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox whatever will come out in a couple of years, maybe? No, not a couple of years, maybe pushing it a little bit.
I think...
But
the Xbox Scorpio, whatever it's going to be called, is technically their next console.
The next one. Yeah.
It's not an upgrade. It's a big upgrade. I hate the fact when Sony saying, oh, this PlayStation 4 Pro, it's like 500 times better than the PlayStation, the original. It's like, it bloody better be. That's 20 years old.
Yeah.
Whereas...
It's a bit redundant for comment, isn't it?
Microsoft have said the next sort of machine they're making is 4 times or 6 times better than the Xbox One, which to me that's a bloody good jump for a couple of years difference. But the 6 teraflops data, whatever, is at the moment basically just not the highest end, but it's a good gaming PC. So by the time it comes out the end of next year, again, there might be middling sort of PC specs again, which I think that's what hindered the Xbox One and the PS4. They were both...
Yeah, PC stuff's moving so quickly now, isn't it? Oh, what's that?
Oh, it's my watch in the corner. Oh well. Do you know when you're just sort of baffled, like, what the hell's that noise coming from? I picked up my phone, but it wasn't that, and I couldn't work out what the hell was going on. So, yeah. To me, I can understand the PlayStation 4 Slim. You know, make it cheaper.
Yeah. You always, You
know, that's what you do. And for some unknown reason, the 360 and the PS3, although that was like an 8-year cycle of the games, the machines themselves never dropped under £100. Whereas like with the PS1, after like 3-4 years, they were all like 80 quid. And then they ushered in the PS2. You know, but they were still selling a load of the old ones at 80 quid. So if you go to the shop now and try to buy a brand new 360, it's still about 180 quid. It's just like, why is that so expensive?
Yeah.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. So, is there anything that caught your eye in the announcements, or do you think it's just...
Mass Effect.
From what I heard,
it was really weird.
That looked bad.
They didn't. Yeah, it was quite a bad demo, to be honest. It was like a really weird bit of. It had like platforming in it. I was like, what? What's going on? It was a bit where he was like jetpacking onto like different platforms, like avoiding death to the floor, and then a cinematic happened, and then it kind of just ended. It was like it was really bad demo, to be honest. But they showed off Shadow of Mordor. That game came out like, when did that come out? 18 months ago? Maybe not that long. It was last year, wasn't it?
With what, sorry?
Yeah, I don't know. Shadow of Mordor.
Shadow of Mordor, that's 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, they showed off that they were like, oh look, it's gonna have HDR, better graphics, and I was like, really? Like, does anyone even play that anymore? Well, I'm sure people do. But it just seemed odd to show off. I don't think, was there anything else that... The only other thing I was interested in was the Deus Ex game, because I haven't played it yet. I haven't bought it. But I can't think, there wasn't anything else that I was particularly interested in.
Yeah.
I was hoping, there was loads of rumours that Rockstar were going to be there and show off Red Dead. I was like, oh, please. But it didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know, they had all this time to get everything done, and they just seemed hurried and didn't quite know what to push and who to push.
Yeah, it was a lot about they just kind of turned up and went, here's their new PlayStation. We're not really here to show off any games. Show off a bit of Mass Effect. Is that the first gameplay demo they've done, or did they do something at E3?
I think it's the first live sort of like full gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was quite cool, but it was, as I said, I think the general reaction to it isn't very good. It was a really bad demo. So I think it was kind of reminiscent of their E3 conference as well. Because see how old Sony conferences used to drag? They used to really drag.
Yeah.
They were like so
Wonderbook.
They were so self-absorbed. They were just like, look at us, Swiss Sony. We're the best company in the world. You're going to have to get 2 jobs to go and buy our new console. And then, like, recently they've kind of gone, you know what, because we've sold more consoles, should we just stick to just game, just keep it short and sweet. I don't know if it's like a new direction they've gone in, or... Yeah, but it did seem a little bit... It was only 40 minutes long, that conference, was it?
I don't know.
The one on the PlayStation Pro one. It wasn't even an hour. So... But yeah, it seemed a little bit... hurried. I really like Andrew House now. I don't know why. There's something about Andrew House I really like. And who's the there's someone else I really like because he makes me laugh. It's not the head of EA. He's one of the big shots at EA. I think he's Australian.
I have no idea.
Is it something Wilson? Ryan Wilson or something? Let me see if I can find him.
I think he's the CEO of EA, isn't it? The Wilson guy.
Is he the CEO?
I think he got made the head of EA, some Wilson, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, is he... Andrew Wilson is an Australian businessman who has been the CEO of Electronic Arts since September 2013. Yeah. I really like him. Mainly because of his accent. And he kind of looks like a fake man. He's like perfect. His hair's perfect. He has the perfect suit. He just walks around on stage and he has like the perfect speaking voice. He's so manufactured. It's really weird, and I just really like him.
I guess if you're a CEO of a company of that stature, you'll have the money to go and buy whatever you want.
He's the perfect EA CEO as well. You just imagine EA being like a really slick kind of company that kind of is just like, I'm the best, and he perfectly represents them. And there's Peter Moore, who's quite funny as well. His Twitter account's quite funny. And then like Xbox have Phil Spencer.
I like Phil.
He's alright. I quite like Phil. He's quite... I like him. He's quite... what's the word? He's got quite a lot of humility, which is what I quite like about him. He's really down to earth. He's a likeable guy. I liked it when he came on to E3 once. I can't remember which year it was, and he came on with a Limbo t-shirt, even though the game had been out for about 3 years. I've heard about this new game, guys. It's called Limbo. Have you heard of it? And he likes the t-shirt and the blazer look. Classic look, that one. Yeah. I like all those guys.
I might try
all
and
the guys
rock
that
that.
kind
I've
of
got
front
a really
the
good
companies.
blazer.
They're really... You got a really good blazer. You could do that. You could rock that look totally.
Yeah, we went to like an epilepsy event the other day, and I wore the blazer, and the guy who was hosting came up to me and like rubbed my shoulder and goes, "Oh, that's really nice."
Yeah.
It's like, damn right, I scrub up well.
Damn right.
It's the most expensive thing I bloody own of clothes.
Yeah.
About 180 quid.
Yeah. Nice.
Anyway, so...
But yeah, I feel like all those CEO guys, I feel like I could sit down and have a beer with them. I feel like they're quite personable.
So just to make it
Which means they're probably doing their job well.
To make it sound a little bit more even, we're not bad-mouthing all the new and upcoming consoles, because we're both eager and giddy with excitement to find out more about Nintendo's new console.
Oh yeah, I really want to find out about this NX. I don't know if it's the mystery surrounding it or not, but I'm completely encapsulated by what it's going to be.
Do you reckon once it's announced,
I'm really interested in the new Zelda game as well.
Oh, that shit.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's No Man's Sky all over again.
Yeah.
Because no one knows anything about it, and then it's going to come out, and everyone's going to be like, oh no. So at this point, the NX needs to come out. It needs to be a perfect console, home console. It needs to be a perfect handheld console. It needs to be able to cook, it needs to make toast. It needs to be able to be turned into a plane to fly us around the world to equal the amount of hype.
And if it's going to sell well in Japan, it needs to be a sex aid.
and it needs to be able to like masturbate you and everything. It's just it needs to do everything, and I'm not sure if it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's
living up to that.
The dream is good to have a 2-in-1, but a lot of times if you do a 2-in-1, you compensate so much of what makes either good.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we'll wait and see. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks, month or so, we'll get more news from Nintendo.
Yeah, I just really want... mind you, I was going to say Fire Emblem then, but Fire Emblem's come out on the 3DS, hasn't it? So.
And that's one of the games coming out for the iOS and Android.
It is, yes.
Yeah, free to play
which I'm very
well.
excited about. Imagine Fire Emblem on my phone, that'd be the best. I'll have no battery life. But
as long as they get rid of the
I'd do it.
Triangle feet. Or
Does that annoy you?
The no feet with triangle legs.
They're pointy ends that stick into the ground.
Yeah, that annoyed the hell out of me.
It does look a little bit strange, to be fair.
But mate, I don't know about you, but I sold my 3DS about 3 years ago.
To be honest, I haven't played it that much.
No, but, it must have been.
Completed Fire Emblem.
I sold it before
Pokemon.
I got my Xbox One. So it's got to be quite a few years ago now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be a while, yeah.
I mean, there's only so many times you can play Ridge Racer 3D. I mean, that was the only game worth buying.
That's coming from you, the world's biggest Ridge Racer fan.
I love that game. It was quite a good game. It was at the best of. It had all the tracks and everything. That's how you should make it. That's what I think they should do for now. Do like a Ridge Racer collection on like PS4 and Xbox One, free to play. You download it, and it's an arcade perfect version of Ridge Racer, and you play that for free.
Right.
And then you can buy add-on games, and it's like arcade perfect Ridge Racer 2, and then you can buy PS1 ports of Ridge Racer 1, 2, Ridge Racer Type 4, and then you get like the Ridge Racer 5, Ridge Racer 6, Ridge Racer 7. You buy them as like little like £5 add-ons, and they do it so it's either the exact like PS1 perfect port, or you can switch mode and have all of them run in a new HD sort of mode. So they all run in a really nice graphical style to all go together in that. But I think that's what they should do. Please, Namco, please. We all need Ridge Racer.
I just found out there's a FIFA 17 demo coming out.
Oh, I've just remembered it.
September the 13th.
I've downloaded the PES 17 demo. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. It is really good. Quickly to touch on it.
Yeah, I might have forgot that today.
Some of the animations are a little bit odd. But no, it's very, very good.
Yeah, so I'll probably get a quick go on that today then. So that has been episode 170 of the One Up Gaming Podcast. It's been me, David, and it's been Zachary.
Thanks, everyone.
And please...
There's someone's knocking at my door.
Is there? Are you the only one in? Or is someone else there?
I might have to go, David.
You might have to go. That is fine, Zach. I will end the podcast on my own.
Yep.
Thank you,
cool.
Zach.
I'll see you in a bit.
I'll see you in a bit. Don't log off.
Bye, everyone.
Don't log off. Keep yourself there, because otherwise I can't get your file.
I won't log off. Don't worry about it.
Alright then.
Yeah.
Chat soon.
That's cool. Right. See ya.
So, that's been the One Up Gaming Podcast. Please go to our website, which is oneupgaming.co.uk. We have another website now where we sell nice retro-themed things and handhelds and Bluetooth earphones and ear things. That's ougtech.co.uk. We have a Patreon site, which is patreon.com/oug. Now, we will be introducing new tiers. So if you donate $5 or more, we will send out a choice of like a Zelda pendant or a little Pokemon ball that opens up, things like that, little goodies, just to hopefully that you guys will continue and support us, and then we can get other bits and bobs done. We have some t-shirts and mugs at Blue Cyborg, so just go on to bluecyborg.com and search 1UP Gaming. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, so just go on to either of them and search 1UP Gaming, or go onto our website, oneupgaming.co.uk, and on the top of the screen there is little links that will take you directly to them. We're on Twitter, so if you want to tweet us, it's at OUGofficial. If you want to email us, it's at contact@oneupgaming.co.uk. And the podcast itself, please download us on iTunes and give us 5 stars and positive feedback, as it helps when people are searching for silly little podcasts that people do in their spare time. So it's been me, David, and Zack, saying thank you for listening to the episode 170, and we will be back next week.
Hey guys, Justin here. I just wanted to say that I've been thinking about you. I've been thinking about you a lot. Yes, you in particular, in that way. And I wanted to say, I think you're great. I've always said that about you. And I was wondering, if you think we're great, if you could give us a quick rating on iTunes, we'd really appreciate it. It would really, really help us out in that, podcasty sort of way. And if you're feeling particularly festive, perhaps even a little saucy, maybe stop by our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/OUG and see if you can't slip a few bucks our way. After all, every little penny or whatever space money they use in Europe helps out the show. Thanks for listening. OUG Gaming will always be free, but with your support, we can always move forward and always be better.